What's up, guys? Welcome back. My monitor was kind of freaking out a little bit. It was a black screen. I was so scared, but we're fine, guys. I'm Axeltoss, and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that tournament we cast this past weekend, Landhammer 2013. What's going on right now? You're probably wondering, well, me and Nick and a couple guys at MLG have accumulated some of the best games in MLG history, and we have a single elimination bracket. The idea is we're going to try to find out which one is the best at this point in time, and it's going to be exciting. It's happening all this week, so make sure you stay tuned, and you're going to be able to get involved because you're essentially deciding which games are going to move on in the bracket by tweeting, so stay tuned for more information on that. But want to make sure you guys are actually watching the games first, so not necessarily going to give those instructions just yet. That being said, let's take a look at the bracket that we have for the first initial 8 matches. This is what it looks like. We got Bomber versus Goswser, MKP versus Parting, Life, Polt, Huck, Idra, Polt, Naniwa, Huck, Kiwikaki, Naniwa, Kiwikaki, Leenock, MVP. A lot of names you guys are probably familiar with. A lot of those names, like you're going to see a lot of Huck, you're going to see a lot of Idra. These guys that have been in a lot of MLGs have obviously played a lot of fantastic games. So again, what's going to be happening here is you guys are going to be deciding on which one of these games are going to be the best, which are going to advance to the round of 16. First up, it's going to be Bomber versus Goswser versus MKP versus Parting. It's not a 2v2. It's not what it is. We're basically going to be watching the first game, then watching the next game, and then we'll be deciding which one will advance to the round of 16. That being said, let's go ahead and jump into Bomber versus Goswser. This one is from Game 3 of the round of 32 MLG Winter Championship event in Dallas. Bomber was up 2-0. Let's get into it.
Actually, what I would actually do is I'd look at
Fire
Total Biscuit, who's my date for this. We're on a date. And I would say, what are you going to order for me? Because you're that kind of guy. You're classy like that.
Sure.
You'd say, I will order up static defenses for the Zerg player. Because as we saw those introduced in that second game, they were great. They allowed him to buy time or anchor defenses at bases so that he can continue to mine. And then I'd order up an awesome dish of Bomber Awesome. That would be my order, but that'd be a little bit weird at Goswser restaurant because he doesn't want Bomber Awesome.
Well, he has to serve it anyway because he needs to
That's
appeal
true.
to that very specific demographic.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the idea that some restaurants just have to cook steak well done. It doesn't matter
You're
if
right.
it
Oh,
is.
thank you for saying that.
It might as well be against the Geneva Convention.
Yes.
But
Are you a rare guy? Do you go rare?
I am medium rare. Medium
rare,
I feel.
okay.
Depends on the cut. Sometimes rare, depending on the cut. I prefer New York strip, which I think is best medium rare rather than rare because it's a slightly tougher cut of the meat. But one way or the other, yes. Sadly, Restaurant Goswser has to serve well done every now and again because some people just have no taste whatsoever. But we got tasting good games. We understand that was just incredible. And no one's going to deny the fantastic performance of this guy who we have not introduced for the last 2.5 minutes. Startail Bomber in the red trunks playing Terran to the southwest of this, the Newkirk City, versus his opponent who was looking visibly shaken on camera, and I don't blame him in any way, and is now going to have to face up against someone who is already 2-0 ahead of him in a single elimination, probably the toughest tournament he's ever been in his life. It is Millennium's Goswser in the blue trunks playing Zerg to the southeast.
Do not count out Goswser yet, ladies and gentlemen. He has put up a battle. I mean, both of the first 2 games were seasonal torrential drops. Just insane amount of drops everywhere, being microed independently to beautiful effect. And yet, from game number 1 to game number 2, we saw a different Goswser not
Huge
dying to set drops.
Yeah.
Still having a tough time with him, which I think actually might be just a given. I think it's kind of like that well-done steak that you have to serve. Sometimes you just have to take a beating for Bomber's drops.
Yep.
I don't know that there's a guy out there that's like, Bomber's drops? LOL, I faced that on the ladder the other day, and I thought it was easy. Nobody says that.
No.
So in this map, I mean, look at this. This is the thing going for Goswser. There's negative space between their two bases. You can put Overlords there and see just about every drop coming unless a Viking's made, but not every Terran wants to do that.
Not necessarily. At the end of the day, what you're building a Viking, it could be a medevac.
Yeah.
Or in Bomber's case, it could be a Raven, but it's not
Yeah.
likely to see it early on in game. And this Reaper is so close to getting that. It's not going to. Let's be honest here. I'm keeping an eye on Bomber's supply because I want to see if he gets stuck at, 58 again. I think he's actually done that in 2 games. Like,
give it 5 seconds. He'll be at 58. So he'll just double in a minute here. Or in 5 seconds.
So pedal faster, Bomber. You will get there. But the Reaper comes in, doesn't do much.
Nah.
Forces some links out, kills a few units here and there.
Yeah.
It's
And with the Queens out, it should be...
actually, it killed nothing.
They did actually kill
Resources
nothing.
lost is 6 for Goswser, which is a really odd number.
Cancellation of a Vespine Geyser, sir. Or extractor, excuse me. No, what do they actually call that? I'm going to have to look it up because I'm an idiot. It is an extractor.
Extractor. Yeah. I always get that mixed up. But there's a drone shot down, so, you know, Reaper's doing fairly well in that regard. More drones being produced, a couple more extractors going down here as well. This Reaper is continuing to be a pain, dragging the Queens off creep, and they are spreading creep rapidly this time around, which I feel is one of those things you have to do against Terran right now, simply because of that drop potential is way more dangerous. You must be able to reach your bases rapidly with something that can shoot air or at least just kill the Marines.
Now, Bomber's changing up the pace here just a little bit. No fast third command center, excuse me. But the same kind of building composition. We see 3 barracks, a factory. So I do anticipate it's going to... I mean, there's actually a tech lab on that factory, which has me wondering if it's straight tank. It has to be. I can't imagine you'd put a tech lab on that just
doesn't
to build.
make a huge
yeah,
amount
exactly.
of sense, does it?
There's a couple tanks. So you know what? Actually, as I say that, it might be being used because he's been getting kind of pseudo all-in game 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And if you look at this map, that third's tucked up against a cliff line. So if you put a couple of tanks up there, you're probably looking at a very impenetrable third, so he might be trying to go for that.
That's very, very true. And honestly, with 2 games up in this particular series, he can do whatever he wants.
You're exactly right.
And playing safe seems to be his option. Bomber has flair, but he's not an idiot.
Right.
He doesn't throw a couple of maps away and give Goswser that psychological edge back. And in fact, what he would like to do here is play a really solid, annoying as hell to deal with game. And even if he loses it, Goswser is still mentally worn down for the whole effort.
He's hiding it.
He is.
This is a push. He's going to make 2 or 3 tanks, and then he's going to shove with Infinity Marines. And I like this because he saw the fast third going down in that position that pushes it closer to the Terran, as opposed to the one that's further away up here on the top right-hand side. So, well, you can expand too, I guess, because Marines are so damn
both of those things, really. So basically, we're both right, is what we're saying.
Thank you, Bomber. What a guy. I mean, he's ahead, so he figures why not just
do both of those things.
Yeah, go ahead. And there's just now the engineering base. So, I mean, this is a very much so weighted push. And it's going out against 1-1, but I say that with a gigantic asterisk because, of course, those upgrades will not be a part of this. Bailing Nest not even finished. So
it's going to attack 3 roaches and 4 queens. The roaches do see it.
Yeah.
He actually could just die at this push.
He could just die.
A lot of lings coming out. He may be able to get banelings into some part of the fight, but it's not going to be with the initial strike. It depends how... Well, Bomber just doesn't care. He's going to march over the creep. He's not going to stop. He wants that third base dead, and he's most likely going to get it.
Yeah, I think Goswser sacking the third might be a choice wise beyond his years. He is getting a lot of the Marines down, though. They're going to stem and try to go for the kill here. Queen's anchoring this quite well. Now focusing on the tank. I think that might have been the wrong move. You want to whittle down these Marines because your Banelings are going to have a tough time connecting, and all of a sudden Goswser's indecisiveness might have just cost him more than just the third.
That's certainly true. Taking out 1 tank and maybe a couple of Marines here and there probably was not worth it. He doesn't have enough lings now to get behind these Marines to prevent that. That split was just pretty. It really was. I wouldn't call it beautiful. It was pretty. You know, you consider dating that split.
Would date, yes. Yeah. Would date if nothing better.
Would probably pay for the meal.
Yes, yes. I mean, this rally of lings won't kill it, but the next one certainly will. This tank is not going to make it home. Neither will this Marine. They're brave soldiers going to stay behind just to make sure business is taken care of. But if you look at what's going on behind this, I mean, 1-1 has complete Spire and Infestation Pit going down. Anytime this happens, I always wonder what's in the thought of the player. Like, how do you hope to afford both those things? Yes, you have almost 700 gas saved up, but either you show up with a bunch of Infestors or you show up with a bunch of something off the Spire. I don't know if you can do both. But, you know, Goswser has played a lot more games of ZVT than I have, so I'm going to have to go ahead and trust him.
Yeah, well, we'll see what he can pull off here. Mutalisk would be an interesting option. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that he just continues to build that Spire, I suppose, even though he hasn't got his third base back up yet. He's certainly not going to be mining gas from it anytime soon. When he does, it's going to be under constant threat from Bomber just pushing right in there. And he's got yet another push rolling across the map here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just a case of having options. You know, playing reactionary seems to be the most successful thing you can do right now as Zerg against Terran. And you made a point earlier, actually, that Zerg have got a lot more aggressive now instead of kind of playing this defensive reactionary style. And maybe they need to go back to being a little bit more reactionary because it seems to be biting them in the ass in this tournament.
Yeah, I think he built it because he's afraid of drops. I think he's saying, I want to have a couple Corruptors or whatever to whittle down the medevac count. But I think he's got bigger fish to fry right now. He's got this push that's really well spread out. Although, as I say that, there's a lot of lings out here. And this push just shrank on me. Someone wash this with cold water, because I don't know. it looks scary coming across, but now it's like 9 Marines and 2 tanks.
Pretty much. I mean, this push is now the crop top,
There's
whereas
exactly.
it was a T-shirt, and that's the nice flank coming around the side. I was expecting the flank to eventually come. It's like, hang on a second, doesn't he have creep connected to the back of that? Yes, he does, and it hasn't been pushed back, so yeah, he can totally flank that. That was pretty nicely done, and Goswser is now getting into a better position. There is, however, another CC coming down, and now the drops commence. How well does he hold them?
I love the fungal animation. It's like lobbing the...
I just want to see that in slow motion
rocket.
with Chariots of Fire playing in the background. that would just be beautiful.
You know what? You're a big YouTube guy, I've heard. Have you seen the video of the hot dog shooter?
I don't believe so.
The guy breathes in hot dogs. I recommend you watch it because my recommendation to you is imagine that when you do get there. And then the animation for the fungal growth, actually. I think it's perfect. But you're going to have to enjoy that at a future time, as we shouldn't cut to a YouTube video right now. That might be bad. But Bomber's getting cleaned up here, and to your point, you know what it is? Bomber didn't want to win that decisively. He wants to do something else awesome later down the road, and he knows it has to be a close game for that. So he's like, take 2 armies of mine and give unto them your death.
Indeed. What a generous fellow he is.
It's very nice.
Indeed. Well, what we've got now is those Corruptors that you mentioned earlier was exactly on the money, being used as drop defense. Not something we've seen that much in this tournament so far. The Corruptors generally considered to be probably the most boring unit in the game, but
it's actually true. I mean,
they really,
they're
really
just
are.
a slow attack anti-air unit, and
which is a shame because they look nice. Right? They're one of the coolest looking units in the game, and then suddenly you build them and you think this is going to be the best thing ever. They're called Corruptors, for God's sake. That sounds cool in and of itself, and then they just kind of go, yeah.
Now you take more damage from other things.
20%.
Yeah. I agree. They're inspired by, like, I like to think of them as the Matrix robots or Whoopi Goldberg. It's either one. It's maybe even both. But we're up to 4 bases now for Goswser. And very silently through our completely non-topical jargon, we've actually found ourselves in a place where Goswser's sitting on a decent economy. The drops are getting spotted. I mean, 12 o'clock, 2 Overlords for the price of knowing that you have a chance to stop yourself from dying to that. Yeah, that's worth it.
I'll take it, yeah.
I'll pay that.
And then the Corruptors can come into play. And if Bomber's not too careful and he burns that afterburners at the wrong time, then the Corruptors can intercept in null space, and there will be no way to actually get those Marines out. But they missed it this time around. There's the afterburners burned. And we're seeing Goswser in a good spot. He is going for Great Aspire. Not something we've seen a huge amount in this tournament either. But Goswser has demonstrated that his Infestor use, regardless of the changes, has been pretty effective. He may be able to pull that off. But the weird thing is he's also going 3-3 melee and Adrenal, which is like, that's Ultras, right? Surely.
I really like that we see a Reactor Factory being added to the mix here, just churning out Widow Mines.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, I want to say this, too. Earlier we watched Minigun. That drop's going to have a greeting party. But earlier we watched Minigun lose to life from Team StarTale because of old school tactics. We're going to see a little bit of that here, actually. These Broodlords are unexpected. And as such, there's only 1 starport. There's no Vikings coming out. No real like urgency of scouting. This drop actually is just absolutely going to snipe the 4th. And then the big drop in the main shouldn't do as much. There's Lings at the base of it, but yeah, and the Infestor's there as well.
Yeah, nice catch once again there by Goswser. A little bit quick on the second fungal. They do not stack, unfortunately, so a little bit less damage than could have been done, but it does get cleaned up. Obviously, some delays to mining, but there was about 3 minerals left in that line anyway, so it's more of a moral victory than anything else. But
okay, well, there's the Viking upgrade actually. Well, the air attack.
He's put 2 more starports on, so
but still making medevacs. Look at that, actually 4 queued up. So to your point though, with the more starports, he is going to have access. I mean, you don't want 20 Vikings. You want the ability to make a handful of Vikings fast. This drop actually doesn't do much. There might have been a cancellation there. Of course, Goswser has a bank of money of sorts, and he's making those Broodlords, so it's really in his max. So the point of having the good economy behind it is the ability to remax. Yeah. And deal with this drop, too, actually. He's out of Corruptors because he made them into Broodlords, so he's going to have to be aware of that.
Indeed. And we've got more Ravens coming in. Yeah, he seems to really love that unit right now, and I certainly don't blame him for that.
Who doesn't right now?
No.
Reddit freaking 96% upvoted that thread.
I've never seen Reddit be positive about anything like that. That's incredible.
You
that
could say, thank goodness for water on Earth, and there would be a 45%, I don't know, I hate getting wet.
Water is an American conspiracy. Socialist Sweden is a far better option. They know that is clearly not what is needed.
Yes.
Medevac is shut down in null space there by a few Corruptors. There are currently the answer from Bomber seems to be building about 6 starports and as many CCs as he's building 5 CCs at once.
He's building 5 on top of the 8 he has. And
Yeah.
He's going to drop half his army in the main base. But again, good overload spread here. Means Goswser's in position to do this now. I don't want to jinx this, but I'm gonna anyways.
Okay.
Goswser is in a phenomenal position. He has his half the map. He's got great creep spread. He sees this drop coming. He's not He's
attacking the other drop.
There's the Lings. They're like, oh shit. Spit. We're coming back. Sorry, MLG and families with younger children.
That was actually Portuguese for...
Thank you. Yes.
Good Lord, I hope I get there in time. It's a little used colloquialism, but it is true. You can look it up on the internet where everything is correct.
Dialect, right.
Absolutely. Well, this drop was eventually shut down, doing very little, killing a drone or 2. So that was nicely done. Did draw a lot of that army back with the creep spread. That doesn't make a lot of difference. A single SCV is a brave one. But Bomber doesn't really need SCVs right now.
No, just softened them all up. He needs to have detection.
That he does.
The mine freaking waited. Those guys are so smart. It's like, nah, I'm not going to shoot now. That makes too little sense. I'm going to wait. Oh, it goes after Broodlings, though. I did not know that. Okay, well, that makes it kind of
That's actually kind of neat.
Yeah,
I did not know that. There we go. We've learned something new today. Knowing is half the battle. The Goswser, however, needs the other half of the battle in order to actually win this in the first place. And no, that's not the direction you want to be going.
Oh, jeez. The Zerglings do evade most of that damage, but there's a lot of tanks in here. This is actually a very defended position, but some tanks are getting destroyed by Zerglings. It's a great trade, obviously. The Broodlords, however, getting isolated by the Vikings. And again, it's not 20 Vikings, so unfortunately for Goswser, Bomber just has the right number and the right pairings.
Yeah, Goswser is actually sitting on a huge bank. He's actually got 37 lava available here. I'm kind of surprised. What is he waiting to spend? I think he's just going to... He's building mass Corruptor, 17 Corruptors coming in. 50 Lings. Interesting composition.
Bomber is anchored. I mean, there's planetary fortresses lining up the middle of the map, soon to be anyways. I can't imagine why this command centers would be there otherwise. He's also double expanding right now. No big deal. What Goswser has to do is says, okay, I'm not going to trade my army for yours. That's not really possible with Terran. What I am going to do is prevent you from taking your half the map, and while I do that, hope to catch you out of position. He needs to get those tanks unsieged. He needs to get those Vikings fungled, or maybe it's just Vikings against Ultras, something like that. But Goswser cannot sit back and max out. It's not Wings of Liberty. You do not have the most powerful army in the game anymore.
Very true indeed. We do see the creep spread pushing forward, which is handy. That means you got queens to transfuse broodlords if you decide to build too many of them. Oh, the investors. This is dodgy.
Why are you here?
Hoping to see that fungal there, but there's now 3 Ghost Academies coming down, which means the nuclear option is going to be employed. Apparently, he's got border seeker missiles, but there are 8 Ravens, so he can use those. He can just use both.
He's already bombed with the seeker missiles. You got to bomb with the nukes now.
Indeed,
it's his thing. He's going to be on a Wheaties box someday, and it'll be politically incorrect, and people will be upset about it, but otherwise it'll be cool. Infestors do get realized that they're kind of strangely out in the front. Thankfully, Bomber did not see him or just
chose to ignore them.
Remembering from Wings of Liberty where you don't approach Infestors. They're like uncaged bears.
Very hard habit to break.
Yes, actually. Now he's pushing out. Bomber's going to be the aggressor. I think this is kind of interesting. I would like to have seen him sit back and really build up the bank, maybe switch to air Terran. Here it is again. It is so cool.
Is it going to be able to hit anything? Well, it's going after the...
out of the range!
Oh!
And he gets fungled!
Oh!
This could be costly!
A second fungal follows up right here. This suddenly went horribly wrong here for Bomber. Could Goswser actually make this work? Goes for another fungal right there. There's still a lot of units on the ground here for Bomber. He's in a good position. Can Goswser actually get this flank? Bomber refuses to drop.
Wanted. That's the fight he wanted. He's got a spread on his corruptors. Vikings are turning tail. The range 10... I'm going to make... It is range 10 on the fungal, right?
I believe so,
okay.
Yeah. Range 10. Moves a little bit slower now. Transfuser's coming in.
Oh!
Tries to catch a few. Slightly moved out of position. He's still got a few more fungals. Not bad. Not great. Oh, dear. The Corruptor's not where they want to be. But, of course, Goswser can replace that.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're right. He's losing some Corruptors there. But the fungals are landing on this bio. The Medivacs are dead. Do you make... I mean, at this point, he wants to make Ravens, and he wants to make Medivacs, and he wants to make Vikings, but you can't make that off the starports he has. Not efficiently anyways, and now all of a sudden the Zerg half of the map has women and children back at home cheering. They're standing up in front of their televisions. They know that what just happened is awesome.
Yep.
And Bomber has already shown his coolest trick. Dare I say, if this guy does something like leads a nuke and then he walks into it, and that's how he gets back in this game, I quit, Total Biscuit. You're on your own. I gotta go.
At that point, I'll probably just stand up from the casting desk, leave, and just go
That's
queue
what
up
we'll
and
do.
single draft from Dota 2 because
Yes.
this game doesn't make any sense to me anymore. And I'm not willing to take part in it. But whatever the case, Goswser is in a great position now. That was a fantastic engagement for him. He's still sitting on 91 drones. He is laying siege to Bomber. It is looking like he may be able to actually take a game. But he's still against so many units.
Oh, the missiles coming in. There's a lot of you stacked there. Okay,
lot of corruptors are gonna
that
take a hit. That
shot
was-
hits a
ow.
lot of corruptors.
That was ugly.
There are more corruptors here, though. The Vikings, under the aid of those Ravens, can only do so much. In fact, here come the corruptors. They're like, wait a second, you actually don't have Marines, really? And they're going to push in. Ghost in the background, though. We do want to see what can come from that. Even
That was
Thor's being
interesting.
added. Yeah.
He actually aimed his Seeker missile at his own extractor there, which turned out didn't really work a lot well. But
Interesting choice.
Yeah, takes out a couple of those SCVs. I guess he wanted to replace the SCVs with something more useful. Goswser is still on 200 supply right now, and Bomber is now finally, against his will, dropping below 200. And now we've got Ghosts coming in to try and start off the Infestors. They do that. Fungal Growth is in reply. Broodlings take them down as well. Cloak Energy about to run out. Is there actually any detection? We're missing an Overseer, so there isn't. Those Ghosts are going to be a bit of an annoyance right now. Oh, lots more Seeker missiles coming in.
Most of the corruptors!
Oh my god, that was most of his air cover gone right
crap. And I'm sorry for everyone's eardrums that just exploded, but I can't help it. Bomber is carving for himself a chance in a game where nobody else has said chance. Bio pushes forward. There are no medevacs here. Keep in mind, every single time they stim, they are asking for, death, essentially. Both the middle base did get killed, and he's not mining yet from his, well, he's just now going to land it there. The base that otherwise would have a destructible rock covering it. Bomber still has a bank of sorts. He's close to max. This game is by no means over.
No, it is not. But Bomber has taken significant losses to his economy. He still does have 8 mules coming down, so it doesn't really make all that much difference. But
9 Ultralists. Now, there are Marauders out here, but the Vikings in the air at this time become dead weight.
But the cinematics said that they were great against Ultralisks.
Great at making it look cool. If they landed like that and shot their guns that badass, then I would love to watch them die. But otherwise, they look like kind of terrible, just terrible duck transformers that didn't make it in the movie but made it into StarCraft 2.
Oh, dear.
This base is dead. He's not going to go for it.
Well,
he's
maybe.
going to go for it.
Yeah, I think with those Ultralisks, he probably will. I can't really see a reason not to. The risk is, of course, that he ends up getting trapped in here. Bomber is looking for the flanking maneuver. If he can crush this army, of course, he's right back in the game. Both players sitting on tremendous banks.
Yeah, they do.
And, obviously that's great for Zerg. A little bit more than that. I don't think you're going to dodge that many Seekers, but you can try and move out of position.
Run out of it, yeah.
Ultras actually don't care. They just ate them. No problem whatsoever. Now Baneling's moving in to try and get a connection. If only he had a fungal growth there. He doesn't have a nuclear launch detected.
Well, that's a
nuclear launch cancelled.
Wait a second.
We're going to have to reschedule that to a later date. There was a conflicting engagement.
That one's awfully close to everything I have. I don't want to do that one.
Yeah.
Vikings are going to go Overlord hunting. This is a nice little choice. I mean, he wants to get rid of him with the bank you pointed out. It's actually just fine to lose them if they get fungled and killed by a couple of queens. That's fine. You don't want to lose the Ravens, obviously. They're here to just, see if they can't do something. They're even going to land them. Here comes the missile. It's going to run away. Nope.
It's still alive. That's how much it cares about Seeker missiles. And, the Ultralist transition, funnily enough, was a great idea because of the Seeker-heavy composition here. They can just eat that. And because of their size, the splash is affecting way less units, just like the same reason you use them against tanks. They eat that splash.
You're exactly right. Now, this other base is going to get attacked here once again. It looks like Bomber's going to move out to a concave. This should be a great engagement for him. He has beautiful positioning. Nuclear missile is targeted here. It's going to go down. The Ghost getting that fungal, but their EMPs coating the Infestors. They're removing them from the fight. The Great Concave seems to be the weapon of choice here, but he's going to walk into his own.
Bomber,
Don't you do it. He did it! Holy shit! I'm sorry, spit or colloquial language. I'm sorry, but that was insane. He actually just bombed himself.
Bomber just went full Bomber.
Bomber, it doesn't work like your Seeker missiles.
No Bomber.
Oh my God.
Oh,
This is not Total Biscuit and I making out. This is actually us realizing that Bomber might have removed himself from the game.
I think he was just getting bored.
He wants to play more StarCraft.
Yeah, let's play some more games.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
I can't even explain how ridiculous that was.
You know what, though? What's funny about that is it hit like a third of his army, but there was a second there because the dot goes away, and I'm like, oh, wow, the nuke's coming. Or he canceled.
Did he cancel?
Where his whole army was there. It actually could have just all died. Total Biscuit say something quick, because you and I are on highlight reels for the next 10 years with
Apparently so.
this series, our voices.
I'm trying to think of a good pun, and it's just not coming to me, which
swore
is
yeah.
the most un-British thing I could possibly think of. I'm so sorry to all of my fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
I don't have a clever witticism or dumb wordplay to put together to describe just how derp that moment was.
Well, let me speak on behalf of America.
By all means.
The Terran players' decision-making at that time seemed to have been speculative and purposely wrong. That's the best I can do. But
The main thing is he has the freedom to do that, and that's
he's
the
just dropping a
greatest
nuke
gift
attack
as
here.
well.
No big deal. There's
Yeah.
no detection. This is going to be awesome. No big deal. The whole army's here. Does he not know about
please,
this?
no.
Is it going to happen this way?
Well, no, it's not,
Okay.
because the ghost is dead.
It
No,
kind
it
of does.
isn't.
It kind of does.
Oh,
This is
what
incredible.
the hell? Is that? I'm noticing 6. According to this, there was like 6 notifications for nuclear missiles so far. It's like, is he dropping 6 nukes at once? He can't do that. That's illegal.
No.
He's going to keep nuking this base. Kills a single drone.
Holy shnikes, man.
This game has gone full bananas.
This game is so exciting. I can hear the mini stage over there screaming. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not watching this, do so. I mean, at this point in time, if you needed to alert your neighbors to how cool this game is, you'd set fire to your dog and have it walk out and be like, what's going on? And say, go watch the blue stream. And I don't set fire to your dog. That's really bad advice.
That's horribly un-American.
That is really bad.
I'm not cool with that.
Yeah.
Just drape it in a flag, like find the nearest bald eagle,
Hey.
strap it to the dog.
I like your option better.
Yeah, it works. It
There are
totally
some
works.
dogs, though. No, you know what? We'll talk about that later. For right now, it's 2 maxed armies with giant banks doing really cool tactics, including nuking themselves, just to make it more exciting. Bomber, medevac count at an all-time low. Ghosts out. Raven's here. No Vikings, so his army's fairly optimal.
Yep.
On the flip side, for the Zerg player, we do have Broodlords re-entering the field at a critical time when there's no Vikings. So
Absolutely.
Goswser doing a great job kind of staying ahead of the curve that way. No medevacs to punish that, too, by the way, because one of the ways you stop a Zerg player from using those Broodlords effectively is by dropping everywhere they're not. Now, I do want to say, while there's no Vikings, there are Ravens.
However, Neural Parasite is on its way, and this could wrap. There are 17 Ravens, which is a huge amount, and those endgame energy units are absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Until, of course, they get turned against you. If that happens, it's difficult to turn 17 Ravens against each other. Bearing in mind they are detectors. But if anyone could do it, and if anything's going to happen in this game, it's probably going to be that. That is not where you want to be. Fungals go in, only hit the 2 infestors. Nice micro there by Goswser to get out of it. There are more on the way. 2 more infestors picked up. He actually has more. Oh my God, that was horrible. Goswser eating it, losing a lot of infestors, a lot of banked energy, more importantly there. And well, this new rule that we were hoping might come is looking significantly
Here
less
come the
likely now.
Ravens. Who would have thought you'd see Ravens attacking a Zerg?
They're just going right
These
for
are
it.
support units. What the hell's happening?
I fundamentally disagree with that assertion, at least at this point. That's
yeah,
5
at this point.
5 or 6 Seekers coming in.
They're all bunched up. They're
Is
all
it-
bunched up.
What?
They're going to take massive damage. The Broodlords are gone. They just got annihilated.
This is insanity. Goswser takes another hit, tries to max out once again.
And
He's
here
got the
comes
bank
Bomber.
for it. Here comes his big army.
There's
and there's no
nothing
fungal. Well, he's got like 8 infestors now with 1 fungal each. He's got to make these perfectly, and he's got no ground army to fight this.
There's the stim. And there's the nuke. The Ghost instantly dies, though. But can Goswser hold on? He just doesn't have that much, but the units are bunched up. Fungal's doing massive damage.
Oh,
but the
wow.
nuke is on top of all the infestors. They don't know. I guess it
He's
could be
got to
semantics.
move. He's got to move. He's getting out of there right now, and that's not really going to hit anything.
No.
Goswser, Bomber has taken huge damage, but you've got to
Yeah.
bear in mind the supply is horribly misleading because he only has 27 SCVs. Goswser's on 77. That army is nowhere near as big as it looks. And now the Stim Marauders come in. The Corruptors suddenly realizing, why couldn't I have been a more useful unit?
Now the hatcheries are going to get remade. This army is eventually going to get ran down here. The thing is, with their banks, it's not that big of a deal.
No,
those
it's
hatcheries
actually
to
not.
cost.
It actually really hurt Bomber, I think, more than
Look
anything.
at this.
Look at that.
Tobis, look at the banks.
resources.
1,300 for the Terran player, and he's only at 130 supply. So if Goswser can hold on and get that army out here, he sees this nuke. That's
He lost 13 Ravens in the process.
Wow, what are you doing? Get out of the nuke.
Needs to be careful there. He lost 13 Ravens in the process.
Yes.
And that's huge.
Can't
That's
rebuild that.
Yeah, that's more important than I think his money bank, because he lost an energy bank there.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
some really gas-intensive units. And bank right now for Goswser is looking great on the minerals, terrible on the gas.
Yes.
So he's filling things out.
This is a Doom Drop coming down to the lower base, but that's actually a base that, I mean, that's Camp Total Biscuit. This is exactly what we were asking for. There's 4 Spine Crawlers and a Spore Crawler. It's not going to hold it off, but
Not
it
at
should
all.
buy time.
Yeah, absolutely. Another nuke comes down, wants to try and shut down those mining bases of Goswser. Ultralisk coming in from the flank right here. Fungal
Snipes
lands
the Spore, takes away detection. The Ghost remains, but not enough, as it does get fungled and destroyed. Or actually, it might have been detected. Yeah, there's Overseers here. Nice try from Bomber. If you would have told me we're going to see like nuke drops and this is
You wouldn't have believed me.
I'll tell you what. I am a fan of StarCraft 2, and this game is why.
This is insanity.
Holy cow.
Funnily enough, we haven't really seen all that many HOTS units.
No.
We're not seeing all that many Widow Mines. Battle Hellions have still not been deployed by Bomber. He flat out refuses to build them. And Swarm Hosts and Vipers not brought into the play either.
Yeah. Swarm Hosts, like, I understand. Bio, especially when the Marauders at this level are introduced, they're
Definitely.
pretty bad. But to your point, with Vipers, I would love to see Blinding Cloud relocating those range units, making tanks completely null and void. That would be really cool.
Yeah, it certainly would.
I can hear Scott.
I can't.
Scott, I mean, I don't hear him, but I hear him wanting to say something.
Yeah,
No, maybe
he's
not.
speechless, perhaps
He's
like the
speechless
rest
too.
of us.
I don't
There we
blame
go. Don't really blame him.
He is not saying anything. He told us he's not saying
Yep.
anything.
The sound basically gave up after 42 minutes into the game. It's like, you know what? I can't. There's no way I can orally describe what's going on here, so I'm just going to be silent for the rest of it. But it's okay. The
Scott,
sound
you're
is back now, and everything is wonderful. Here come the ghosts.
Here they go.
Snipes coming down right now. Nicely cloaked, but a
Oh,
great
that
fungal once again. EMPs, blanket,
They miss.
nothing whatsoever.
They miss. I mean, it was a cool idea, but in function, it didn't pay off. And I'll tell you what, Bomber at this point in time, I'd like to see him be a little bit more careful. He's he's max, but his money is low.
Yeah, Goswser's got 5,000 minerals and working mining bases and drones.
And if you look at his low money, then look at the mineral piles. They're actually all low. He's muled himself into a place where he spent all of his money. Goswser needs to hold on, and he needs to not die to this army, essentially. If he doesn't die to this army, he should win the game.
Yeah, there is, as you said, very little mineral mining going on at this point in time. And Goswser is still able to mine. This map is getting mined out at this stage.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that is a huge amount of Seeker missiles going in right there. But again, not really that dangerous.
Not really.
They're hitting Ultras, no big deal.
Queens, not a big deal.
They can eat that.
Yeah, that's fine. And look at this. We have Bomber spreading out in the middle of the map, going to use his Siegecraft. I like that. He's going to use his Ravens to poke and prod at the armies, as well as his Ghosts. He does have a few tanks here, if I'm not mistaken. No, they actually died.
Seeker missiles coming in. That initial wave of Broodlord should
Oh,
go
there's
down.
the Neural Parasite.
Oh.
I don't know if he got a missile off, but he
don't
actually
think
did
so.
take that Neural Parasite. There's kind of just a stretched out fight going along the middle line here, and it's going to launch
huge.
forward. Here comes everybody.
They're going for
Infestatories
it.
are down. The
Ultras.
Bioforce, they're trying.
Where are the fungals?
No fungals.
No fungals available. Goswser users bleeding out here.
He is.
If you can believe this, a massive lead
Dropping
here.
the mules.
He's not dead yet. He's still going to bank. I mean, he's building more links and more ultras, but he said no fungals.
Gas. No gas.
Yeah.
Now here, there's not. Okay, there is the 4 medevacs, but they're dying. And I'll tell you what, at a certain point, Lings actually could kill this, and he's making 70 of them. He's also making Queens, which is kind of a cool way to use up his minerals, by the way.
Yeah,
it's not
certainly.
just Lings. I like that.
That and not use any lava
Yeah.
as well. It's pretty valuable for him right now.
And losing this base, I mean, it's a big deal. I'm not going to try to say it's not, but it's not like it is at losing at 15 minutes. There we go. A lot of Lings cleaning that up.
He's not dead yet, and we're seeing a lot of stims down the bottom here from Bomber, unsupported by medevacs.
Yeah. And here he goes. He's going to go after the hatchery.
The brave little Ultralist that could is not. So as you can see, he's going to get surrounded there by the Lings, just obliterated very, very quickly, and Bomber just took a huge hit. This game is back and forth, back and forth. I am feeling motion sick from how back and forth this game is. And currently, Goswser user using that massive bank to build what he can, which is Lings, an Infestor or two here and there. Bomber takes a big hit, but is still building units somehow through strip mining and mineral exploitation. This is the least environmentally friendly game I've ever seen. I mean, that's what, 27 nuclear missiles, mass strip mining, cruelty to animals.
Especially with how much bio waste we've left in our pants as well. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. The
Classy.
methane gas alone, well, come on.
I'll take
you
that.
You have to make poop jokes. If you don't make poop jokes, you're not commentating.
46 minutes into the game. That's how well you managed to restrain that. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with that.
I think we did good. I do want to say, it's like watching Serena Williams play tennis against herself. It's just the never-ending return, and
It must end at some point. There's not going to be that many minerals left on the map here.
yeah.
Goswser, however, with the bank. But then you've got
Low
Bomber.
gas, though.
Yeah, you got Bomber with the Ravens and the nukes. He's got the
Exactly.
gas-heavy units. His opponent doesn't.
Oh, it's too close to call. I mean, on the one hand, yes, Goswser's mining on some level. He's got nearly $5,000 in the bank. But it's always Terran that has those units that can extract value. I mean, these Ravens could just go on all game long. They're not going to get fungled. There's no more infestors, really.
Nope.
It's just up to the Corruptors to make sure that they don't do their job that way.
Going for it right now. Yet more PDDs put down, which is possibly the best weapon he's got against Corruptus right now.
Here it
They're
comes.
slow
Now's the
firing,
time.
annoying little bastards. And here come the Lynx right now. This is not a planetary.
No, and the concave again of Bomber is so good. He knows to disengage. He's actually going to outdistance those.
Yeah,
I
nicely
love when
done.
they roll on the ground like that. That's really cool. And Ghost is going to pull back. That was the right choice to pull back, by the way. A lot of players would have gotten tunnel vision and just attacked there, but he would have attacked into a concave of Marauder Marine, and that wouldn't have ended well. But now Bomber's in the middle of the map. I don't know if he needs... I mean, if he wants to do this. I mean, he does want to. I do know that.
He
But
certainly does. I mean, he's got a lot of medevacs. He's got those Ravens. He has burned a lot of energy, but nowhere near enough to really concern himself. He could still drop PDD. Those missiles getting outrun by Queens
yeah,
off creep.
that was a little bit funny.
That's kind of embarrassing.
Somewhere
really.
in the world, a Velo is shrieking in pain. If there was ever a time to attack, it
The
might be now.
Banelings just got cancelled and then absolutely smashed by those Seeker missiles. He's holding back at the moment using just Ultralisk. Oh, carpet bombing going on right there. Goswser taking more hits. And the energy on the Ravens is finally starting to peter out here.
And Goswser just knows he can outlast him. I guess the part that I was a little bit weirded out by is a lot of Ultras got produced into a battle, and that's not what you want to do.
No.
These tanks are left alone, unsieged. Ravens spilling what damage they can.
That hits the center, grabs a good couple of Banelings as well. Bomber seems to be falling back. He's not building anything. He really can't. He has 33 minerals to his name. He's got gas, but he can't do anything else. The 13th nuclear missile is coming down on the battlefield.
Cancel that one.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to nuke my own command center.
That would have been the most tragic one ever, because he's actually looking like he could win this game now, too. And I mean, he's down in supplies, not mining at all, but still, his army is a winnable army for sure.
Yeah.
He's forgotten about these 3 medevacs. I do want to say that. He's got 3 medevacs down here
with full energy
by the tower. Full energy, and he needs those. He needs everything. He needs to bring every SCV he's got up to the front line now. Maybe float his buildings over here just to soak up one shot. I don't know.
He's doing a lot of scans now
He's
because
going
it's
to
not like
mine
he
that
can mine
base.
anything.
He's going to mine that base.
He actually is, because...
It's the last mining base.
I must grab those minerals.
It's all down to this. It's a resource war. It's that scenario we've been talking about in debate clubs across the country for hundreds of years. Well, maybe not 10 years.
Let's just be honest. Bomber is liberating the resources from Goswser's side of the map right here.
Mass queens. There's actually mass queens.
Yeah, there's 20. There's 20 queens.
Oh,
and that's a
okay,
great idea. Like, transfusers, the anti-air, it's pretty
is
much
a
the
great
best
idea.
unit you could possibly have right now. And they don't take bonus damage from Marauders, which
But they
is
can't
ideal.
run from a nuke.
No, they can't. Very slowly.
Don't do it to me.
Please do.
Be
You
still, my beating heart.
No, you can't. You can't
They're
do
trying
this.
to run.
Get away, Queens. Please move a little
But
faster.
the army, Okay, stop. Okay, don't do that to us. That's
God damn
the
it.
definition of blue balls. I can't believe. What is happening?
I'm not massively surprised by this going down this way. This tournament started off with a heart attack in Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Now
You know
we're
what?
getting
That's the only joke you can make about that is actually really funny.
I want to be careful not to go too far with that, because I'm very sorry, but he is strip mining his opponent's base right now, having moved a CC all the way over, and Goswser actually can't kill him right now, although...
He's got to try.
Oops.
Well, that's just cool, I guess. He's got so many mules, he doesn't even care. It's like, whatever. I need to see a spread from Goswser, though. He cannot attack from one direction.
No.
I know with these queens, he's just like, hey, come after me, and I'll
transfuse
heal
till the end of
you,
time.
Yeah, you just aren't going to kill
Yeah,
these
he's playing World of
queens.
Warcraft right now, not StarCraft 2.
You can't kill those queens. You have to hit them with a nuke.
Pretty much.
It's 2 and about to complete, by the way, so we will have nukes. I just want to see Goswser pull the noose on this.
He has to. He must. If he loses this game for this position,
There's
it will
the
be
nuke.
the
That's
most
the retreating
devastating
nuke.
thing. It is, yeah, definitely. Just put it down. It's going to hit the mules again, isn't it? It's actually going to hit the mules again.
Well, yes.
Yeah, that's... You know, this
Why
whole...
would you let it go down?
This whole mining thing
Yeah.
is... I think Bomber might be a little
It works
tired.
better when you don't nuke your mules. Did you know
No.
that? It's actually better for that?
Is that your professional opinion?
Yes, it is, actually.
Okay. I'm going to take that seriously because you're a higher leaguer than I am. And as such, you
Right,
have
right,
superiority.
right. That's actually where it comes from as well. Now he's gonna ban this spot. He mined it out a little bit. Goswser's totally cool with not fighting. I don't know if I like that. I'm looking at the two armies, and I feel like coming from every angle, Goswser should have won the fight.
Yeah, certainly. He's
It's
got,
tough,
he's
though.
got 113 lings and 15 queens and a bunch of other random stuff, miscellaneous nonsense.
He has like 1,600 of the last minerals on the map.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen a game get fully mined out. This might be a first for that.
I remember one, I think, and that was on Metalopolis. It was not on Newkirk. And it certainly wasn't between players of this caliber.
No.
Oh, yes, the inevitable battlecruiser transition on no minerals. Absolutely.
What is he thinking?
This is a very
What is that?
This is a very standard 55-minute all mined out solution
What is
to
that?
every possible problem.
He's building a fusion core.
The main problem he's got here is he currently has 300 minerals, which is not enough to build a single battlecruiser.
What is he doing?
Oh, he just cancelled something.
Yeah, of
He can
course.
afford one battlecruiser.
Well, he canceled the fusion core.
Yeah. To afford the battlecruiser. Completely logical.
You actually had me there. You're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, Biscuit, you can't build it
It's
without
like,
that.
no, I'm not that dumb.
All right.
I'm only mostly that dumb.
You know, yeah, so he's long distance mining off the one gas. This is 55 minutes in, going
Yep,
on 56.
pretty
And I'll
much.
tell you what, I don't regret a single minute of this game. There was at no point in time where they were just sitting around and I was like, well, this needs to get going, otherwise we'll call it a draw. No. I gladly just realized we've been here for an hour.
This is just bonkers. There's currently 26 drones mining that gas. And you know what? This is the only situation where I said that was a good idea. That was not a mistake. He needs it in order to keep that constant flow of units coming. Bomber has not been able to maintain a constant flow of units for probably the last 10 minutes, simply due to a lack of economy. He's still sitting on nukes. He is, I think at this point, he is banking on the notion that one of those nukes will eventually hit something.
Yeah.
And if it does, he could actually win the game.
Well, there's spacing. Every time the Zerg retreats, the queens are getting hit. Corruptors maybe get caught. I mean, we saw the power of the nuke. It can go down in a space and place that is just, I mean, maybe it's expected, but you don't see it, so you assume it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know. And at this point in time, too, who knows where Goswser's brain is at? He's like, I'm at minute hour with one of the best Terran players in the world, and I'm fighting for my life. This is the coolest thing I've ever done.
I hope he's thinking that.
I hope so.
I really do.
He will after, at least.
Yeah, and if he wins this game, I hope that gives him what he needs in order to
Yeah.
continue in this series.
He's, you know, it's worth noting here too. By the way, I'm going to babble at this game forever, but
Naturally.
he's actually using the last of his gas on Broodlords, which I think is an interesting choice because with the Ravens out there, those guys will be canceled just in terms of you know, what gets targeted first. There's no Vikings. There's nothing else. There's not even that many Marines. And here we go. Actually, Bomber's going to push out again.
Posturing right now, looking for an in. The question is, what do you attack when nothing's really mining?
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to say. Currently, the income is 0 to 500 minerals in Bomber's favor. There is some gas coming for Goswser, mining the last gas on the map, long distance, as
No
we saw
minerals,
earlier.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yep,
Not a single
that's
mineral.
It. We're out. We are out of minerals. We will
All
not be
done.
restocking them for quite some time. So
All done.
if you missed them, it's too late. This is it.
There's 488 gas in one geyser, and then there's that fourth base that has 104 gas. There's a 600 gas on the map, and that's it. That is the resources on this map. We're gonna have a little bit of an excursion here.
There's a nice one for Bomber. He sacrificed a couple of Marauders to take out an Infestor. Just not too shabby.
He's gonna move forward here with his Ravens, targeting some units. He might have made it. No fungus going down.
Go
It's
for the
actually
Broodlords.
just Queens.
That's, you don't want to be there. There we go. Broodlords don't actually die. That transfuse was actually beautiful. I think he landed the transfuse between those missiles actually hitting.
Nice.
These are the real immortals of this game. These guys aren't dying, at least not particularly quickly. Finally, the snipes are coming into play. They will eventually kill some of those queens off. Takes us down to 12. He can still build queens.
He only has 3 ghosts. He just used up most of his energy. There's an EMP on a lot of the queens, but I don't know that he necessarily wants to hit the queens. And it looks like it might be time. The Overseers at the front, they need to be careful. There's not a lot of energy to cloak those ghosts, but that's, I mean, at this point in time, you're counting every nickel and dime you have. Oh, the missiles.
This is going to hit really, really hard if he doesn't get out of there.
He
It's
does.
not too bad for
That's it.
Goswser,
This
but
is the fight.
this is what's going to
Circle's going
happen
in for the
now.
counter. They're trying to get the surround. Right now, Bomber's in the retreat mode.
Looking for the surround. He is able to stop that from getting
loading
away.
up.
Evacuation coming in. This is really hard to call at this stage. Bomber,
is.
slightly lower supply. The Broodlords are still alive, which I think is the key thing to say.
No Ravens. You're exactly
4
right.
Marines, that's it. He can't lose.
That he can't.
He can't lose
If
anymore.
he walked into Widow Mines or missile turrets, I guess that's really the only way, but the Broodlords were the right call, especially with those queens. He can actually just go ahead
Keep
and heal
him alive.
over and over again. Bomber's going to pack it up, head to his main. He's looking to go ahead and fight for a draw. That's his best choice. And Okay. Bomber has 1,100 minerals. Am I reading that correct, or is this game...
He's got 1,100
Where
minerals.
did he get those?
I'm not really sure.
He was at 300 minerals. Where did he get 800 minerals?
Down the back of the sofa. Maybe he had a lot of bunkers that he saved up and
Bunker
salvaged them all.
economy? It happened?
We've been
Total
speculating
biscuit.
about this for the last 3 years. Finally, we see it in action.
We've been a part of, like, trifecta history.
Vikings are being built, 5 at a time.
Where did he get that money? I am... Oh, you know what? Okay, he had those 3 mineral piles. It must have been 1,000, I guess.
Or it was the 30s gangsters in the audience that lended to them
Yes.
at a very high interest rate.
Now, there are still queens here. There are still infestors. I think that... I'm going to look at the units tab. Are there ghosts? There are no ghosts. He's got 3 nukes, but no ghosts.
Yeah, that's unhelpful.
Oh, my God. He's North Korea. That might have been a... That might be too soon as well.
I don't think so. I don't think there's
Yeah.
ever a wrong time for North Korea jokes.
I appreciate that. Oh, they're looking in. They're going to get the infestors. 3 infestors go down to 4 marauders. Beautiful choice by Bomber. I mean, I'd like to get more excited about this, but unless these Broodlords just literally wander away from everything else, and they won't die. They just can't.
No, there's nothing that can really kill. Well, there's 5 Vikings and 10 Marines.
There we go.
We're going to see if
Transfuse doesn't get the ultras. He's losing units, but the Vikings are being left alone. I think Bomber might realize what might have just happened.
There's still Corruptors on the field. There's still Queens on the field here. So
there's
a brave attempt. Yet another Transfuse goes on. Still 4 Broodlords alive right here, and those shouldn't die anytime soon, really. This is coming down to the last unit. Bomber is somehow still in this game.
Corruptors wandering forward. There are Marines out there. They have to be careful. Nice kiting from Bomber. He's down to just these 3 Vikings. He actually has no money after. He's got 18 minerals and 4 gas. My unborn brother has more money in his name than Bomber does. I hope not unborn, by the way. That'd be crazy news to return home to get on a tangent. Anyways,
surprise!
Really weird. My mom's way too old for that. 2 Vikings, a handful of Marines. They're in the corner. They're getting pinned back. Let's look at the army of the Zerg. He still has those Queens. Transfusion at this point in time, critical, and 4 Corruptors.
Absolutely. This is no longer StarCraft 2. This is Micro Arena.
This is Micro Arena.
Yep. Those medevacs will of course keep them. There's one pretty much for each unit. Yeah.
Viking
And
down.
that's crucial. There's only 1 Viking left. There's versus 4 Corruptors and 6 Queens.
There are floating buildings everywhere, actually.
That does not surprise me in any way. So it's quick, run away!
Nothing can surprise
In the
us here.
direction of nothing in particular.
Bomber thinks, what if I just go kill all his buildings? I mean, that is his only chance. Some kind of weird scenario where all the buildings die. I'm looking around for spine crawlers or anything like that. No. So actually, he couldn't float away. He does have minerals, though. He could always build like a something. I mean, you'll have to fight this army at some level, or at least go near it.
This is nonsensical.
Not sure what he's doing, actually. Goswser, he needs to be the aggressor. This game could get closer than he'd like. If he loses all his buildings and is like, well, I've got money for a couple of, guys or something like that, he could just lose those and lose the game.
He could, which would be ridiculous and shouldn't happen. The funny thing about Broodlords, of course, is that they're incredibly slow, and they actually can't keep up with the medevacs with the speed.
Nothing
and
can, actually.
they're also backed up with Queens, which are even slower than that. And the Corruptors aren't really all that good at that either. And we're actually going to just see a game of cat and mouse, possibly for the next 20 minutes. We may see the longest game in MLG history. We are past the hour mark here.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? Let's get all the records right now.
Might as well. I mean, that's got to be records. I don't think it's records for nukes. Was pretty damn close. Definitely records for Seeker missiles.
Yeah. I'm fine with this.
Number of Queens built in one game that wasn't Destiny. That's pretty high.
I mean, there's the 1 Viking top left. If I saw that, I'd throw my Corruptors at that so fast.
Yeah.
But it killed an Overlord. And yeah, he's going to chase this army. I mean, he needs to get the Corruptors on the medevacs and then wait for the boosters to go out like you were talking about. I mean, he's got no fungals, so he has no way of slowing down this army.
Yeah, and he's slowly actually picking away at Goswser's buildings here. He wants this to end.
Yeah.
He wants to somehow win it. This is just silly. I
hope we don't watch Queens kill buildings, because this will be the first time in this game where it gets boring.
I could just get up and leave, come back, and the same thing would be happening.
All right, we're going to have a little bit of movement in the middle of the map. They see that guys are in the middle. They know, again, Bomber's going to try to whittle down these buildings. He's got all his medevacs. They're so fast. It's really, really hard for Goswser to try and catch up to
Yeah,
this.
it's gonna involve a micro mistake here from Bomber, or it's gonna involve a situation where Goswser just turtles up in one area and says, "Come get me." And if that happens, then we'll end up in a stalemate.
This might be a draw.
Looking for the yeah, it could.
This could end up being a draw.
Medevac booster uses no energy. There's plenty of energy to go around for those units. And Goswser doesn't really have a way of catching any of them. He's got no way of mining. He's building one more queen. That's going to be the last unit that's built in this game.
He built 3 more.
Yeah,
That's the last one of them. He needs to catch a lucky battle here. He needs to have. I mean, he's slowly killing buildings along the way, but there's so much back at home even for Bomber that you're not going to get that. I mean, and there's a planetary. You need your whole army to kill that.
Yeah. I mean, even with a couple of Broodlords, you've still got Queens, which
Where
are
are
not
the Broodlords?
great DPS. Lord knows. They're floating around, I think,
they're there.
near
That's
the
the army.
natural there. And he's losing buildings. If Bomber wins from this position, I don't think I would be too hyperbolic in saying that this would be the most ridiculous game of StarCraft 2 that has ever been played.
Yeah, he's going to lose it. Oh, almost lost a Marine there.
He's taken some damage.
Yeah.
He's getting nibbled on a little
Little
bit
bit
here.
of damage
There's the
there.
pickup. Same the Corruptors.
Oh, the Queens!
Oh!
They're in position to intercept! He's got a trap. There's a trap.
Un-
But those are really fast medevacs. It's like,
That and there's a ton of null space that he can't
do it! No, the Queens, damn it.
really. He's
All
boosting
right, 20 minutes
towards
from
the
now, I
Queen
should try that
now.
again.
Yeah, he can actually drop on the Queens and kill him, I think.
I don't know, that'd be a mistake. I think with
Yeah.
the transfuse and the Corruptors moving in over here,
Finally
they could
taking some
actually might
hits.
get a medevac. It's not full of anything, but it still could die, and that would be exciting for the reasons that we see a medevac die for the first time in an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, I did that all in one breath.
It's impressive.
Thank you. Nobody ever told me I wasn't long-winded. That would be... That accusation has not been left alone.
Indeed.
Okay.
Well, we are now in this weird situation where it is simply a case of Goswser has to catch Bomber. Otherwise, Bomber will very, very slowly kill every building on the map.
Yeah.
And there's, funnily enough, Goswser has...
2 hatcheries. 3, 4.
Yeah,
I
he
was
also
half right.
has enough minerals to build 1 extractor.
Is it only 25?
I thought it's only 25 plus the drone, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I've never really had too much of a reason
Yes,
to
you're right,
actually
25.
know that information. It's like
Nor I. I haven't been in many base trade situations as a Zerg player.
at an hour, 11 minutes where, yeah, he has enough for 1 extractor. He's going to lose yet another hatchery here. It's back and forth, back and forth. And I think this game is going to cause some changes to be made, possibly. It's hard to say. We've seen some pretty cool moves, but people were immediately saying, oh, God, that medevac bomb thing, there's no way that's going to stay in the game.
Imagine
But
like
it was
2
counted.
investors out there. Just
Yeah.
2. All they have to do is hit that range 10 fungal 1 time. But they're not.
Yeah.
Now, okay, it's a Corruptor counter this time. I like that. They're faster moving.
Yeah.
Here come the Broodlords.
Okay, moving in right now.
And
Scan's going down left, right, and center just so he's got perfect
North is wide
situational
open,
awareness.
though. He can go north. Yeah, I saw this. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, this is a... Yeah, and he's going to get away as well. He gets a little bit of damage here and there.
He's going to go kill another base, though. I mean, there's a queen randomly standing there. She's like, guys?
Guys! A little help would be... Now, no, dear. Can Bomber actually win this?
Yes, he
the
can.
answer is
Yes,
he
he
very
can.
much can.
It'll take forever.
Yes.
And at some point, what happens is Goswser sits by 1 building, and if Bomber runs in for it, he could transfuse it infinity times, but I don't know how that works.
Baneling's moving in. He's trying to keep up with them.
Can
But
they one-shot it? I don't know.
yeah, he's now moving
I
in.
don't like the Corruptors killing buildings. You're not going to win this game that way, Goswser. You need to be trying to trap these medevacs. You need to be setting up traps.
Yeah. This is a game of cat and mouse. You are against a faster opponent. I like the fact that he's using the creep. Thank God. Uh-oh. This is a catch out of position. Goswser taking a lot of damage here. Transfuser's coming in. Drone's coming in as well. There's the pickup once again. He's picking off queens left and right. And funnily enough, the army supply... Let's not even look at that. Let's look at units killed. Because 977 units killed by Bomber, 682 killed by Goswser. Absolutely insane. But the current count is he's whittling down. He's down to 8 queens now.
Yeah.
If Bomber wins this, it will be incredible, but he's actually looking significantly more likely to be able to do that. Corruptors picking off buildings. Again, as you said, it just doesn't make any sense. You can't, because he's not going to be able to kill that base. He has to kill the army. That's the only thing he can do, and he's got to make sure that actually happens. Queen's going down. He didn't transfuse. I think he looks tired, man. He really, really does.
Of course he does.
Yeah, of course. Drones didn't get to the front to buffer a lot of the damage. He lost another queen. He's down to 7 now. 2 lings, 3 banelings, and 4 corruptors, and 25 drones. Oh, and the Broodlords, but they're so slow they're never involved in any fights anyway.
If they get involved, it's a mistake.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Bomber steps forward here just a little bit. It's the Medivacs, though, that need to get whittled down. A couple on very low health. One is sitting at 9 health, actually.
Oh!
Broodling shot does go down.
Yeah. Picked him up
But
just
you know
before
what?
I hit.
I know we've been bitching about this, but there's not too much else to talk about. I want
There
those
isn't
Corruptors
anything.
setting up traps.
Yes, they have to.
They're the only unit fast enough to get in position to do that. The Queens were nice over at that 4th, but the second Bomber realized what was happening, he turned on the Afterburners like, I'll just make the choice to avoid you now, and there's nothing they could do, whereas the Corruptors would have enough time to do it. There's armies out of position. Again, it's in the middle of the map, so it's going to cost him another geyser.
Yep, cool
And
wall
it
buildings.
Sounds weird to say that, but that's actually what we're counting down right now.
Yeah.
That's the game.
It matters. It actually does matter in kind of a big way right now. And the funny thing is, the amount of orbitals he's got means infinite scans, which means he always knows where his opponent's army is, which is something that Goswser does not have the benefit of doing. Went in with the Corruptors there and actually didn't try and pick off a Medivac, which I didn't like. There weren't all that many Marines. He could have easily taken down, or at least damaged a Medivac. What's going to repair it? He doesn't have any money. He's only got one SCV.
It's weird. Finally, those Corruptors have kind of cornered this. They're going to get a few
he gets
volleys.
a shot. He's going to take a Medivac here by the looks of it. Burn just ran
One,
out. As
the
well.
burner's
Second.
off.
Oh, this might be
He's
it.
getting a lot of Medivacs.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
No means
No.
Korean for oh shit.
I
text the smiley face in Spanish. This is crazy. There's only 4 Medivacs left, and 30 minutes later we might come back to this.
No loss. All right, we'll call it a draw.
Well, in Kesper they both lose.
I bit your legs off. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
It's just a flesh wound.
Only a flesh wound.
I've had worse.
Come back here. I'll bite you. Damn it, I'm behind you. Okay, I love that scene so much.
1 hour more, fine, but Goswser 8. Goswser's like, I've won this game. I will sit here till the end of this MLG, if that's how long it takes for you to concede this game to me.
Of course. It's his whole tournament. He can't just lose.
Of course, he's not going to lose
And
here.
it is his game to lose. Oh, the scan. Oh, he got scanned. Look at the middle of the map.
He's currently attempting to blind his opponent with mass
happened.
scans.
It's beautiful. It's the Aurora Borealis of StarCraft. Triple rainbow. All right. Well,
What do you say?
here come the Corruptors.
They're not going to catch him.
They have to hunt, though. They have to
yeah,
hunt. We
they
saw
do,
what
yeah.
happens when they run out of afterburners. So here it is.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Marines. He's
There's
got
like
4
4.
of them.
Yeah.
Corruptors can take that. That's
Yes,
no
they
problem.
Totally take it. What are the upgrades on the Corruptors? I haven't checked in the last 3 hours. Let's have a
2-2.
look. Yeah. So, they've got an armor of 4. They're pretty reasonable. They're not going to die too fast. Obviously, if he loses them, then that is going to be disastrous. But I don't see any single scenario where he's going to lose 4 Corruptors to 4 Marines. That would require AFK, quite literally, I think.
We actually almost might get to a point where we have to ask for mercy, because Bomber's right. It will be another hour. Like, by losing those Medivacs, I think it's pretty clear that Bomber shouldn't be able to win. Like, it should always cost him buildings. So what he should do is wait till the army's all the way over here. I don't know. Well, look at this. Yeah, a little bit of a noose coming. Those Corruptors have to be so active, though. I don't like every time they stop or are not. Like, right now they're killing buildings. Don't do that. Have them separate. You know what I mean?
They'll take fire. Yeah, absolutely. Split them up as best you can.
What about us?
It's not that useful. Okay, so you killed some barracks and starports on that side. He's got about 5,000 other
Always
buildings.
be hunting.
And a lot of
Corruptors.
them you can't shoot as well.
Yep.
Some of those are supply divas. You're not going to be killing those with Corruptors.
They should be like, this should be
Always
like a
on his ass
Jason
all the
movie.
time.
Yes, they should be like Jason, just always walking at an unnerving slow pace, but somehow every time they look back, they're just always there. That's what these guys need to be.
Let's just hope we don't get too many sequels of this particular movie.
I'm good for 1. Yeah, you're exactly right. Any more in this, actually. Just going to update. Last 1-0 over Stefano right now.
We should probably tell them about Teja Sase, because that actually happened about an hour ago.
Just talk about anything at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Teja Sase went in favor of Teja 3-1, I believe. So,
yep.
Sase
See the
making a
pathing
few
these Corruptors
mistakes.
taking? I don't like it. Go low. Go low and pull the noose on these guys.
Yeah, certainly.
Come in. You only have to pick off like 2 more Medivacs, and this army gets too small to do anything.
Yeah. The funny thing is that with this, they both pretty much see each other. With the number of scans, the number of overlords are in position, and no way to kill. Oh, a connection. Was that all the Marines? That's all the Marines.
Okay.
They just died to Banelings.
And 1 Medivac almost goes down.
There is no reason now for the
Oh,
Corruptors not to
Afterburners are gone.
incessantly hope. This is it. This has
Yeah.
got to be it.
He's got 5 Marauders. Thank you. Thank you. Let us do it. Type the G's.
Ah!
Finally. Holy crap. Freedom.
And there is the
There were so many
GG.
people surrounding that mini station.
Amazing. Goswser versus Bomber.
An hour.
I can't even believe it.
An hour, 20 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes is in control and total biscuit. Delightful commentary from them as always. Oh my God, Bomber, he loves explosions. which makes a lot of sense. So, guys, that was just one of 32 games that are currently in consideration for the best of MLG. And again, all this week we're showing all these games. Coming up next, we got Marine King Prime versus Parting. Now, a little bit of context about this game. Of course, we're going to have a quick break before we get into that, but I want to provide this context. It's going to be a game from Wings of Liberty, Talon Room Altar Game 2. And it's going to be a winner's semifinal. And Marine King Prime and Parting, I don't think I need to explain too much about these two players. They were the kings of their races in Wings of Liberty, and this Talon Room Altar game is absolutely fantastic. Remember, guys, you're deciding which is better. Bomber Goswser, which you just saw, and of course, what's going to be coming up is going to be Marine King Prime versus Parting. Only one can move on to the round of 16 of this round of 32 tournament. So, guys, stay tuned, and when we come back, we'll have Marine King Prime versus Parting.